English grammar, we have the word of, O-V-O-F. And of often shows relationship or possession, the love of God, the glory of God, the law of God. It shows relationships or possession sometimes. Now that's not all it does, but that's its primary function. So we're going to learn today that what's called the construct chain is where you take two or more nouns and you put them in a chain, a link. You put them side by side, and some of these nouns are in a construct form or state, and some of them are in one would be in what's called the absolute state. All the nouns you've learned so far, all the vocabulary words and nouns are your lexical forms are actually referred to as the absolute state, which means basically it's what you're going to find in the dictionary. It's what you're going to find in the lexicon or your vocabulary list. It's the absolute. But yet each one of those nouns can be represented or grammatically structured differently to be what's called a construct state. It's the same noun. Okay, but we're going to spell it with different vowel letterings. I'll show you why. We're going to spell it with different vowels, or actually reduced vowels. And what's happening is that the accent generally on most Hebrew words is the last syllable. But in a construct chain, that accent moves all the way to the absolute noun, the primary. And so there's no accent on any words associated in the chain except for the absolute. And so when you move the accent, that changes the vocabulary, the vowel structure, vowel pointing, and generally reduces the vowels from long to short to reduced vowels. So that's basically what we're going to look at today. For example, in the phrase Beit Yahweh, Beit Adonai, Beit YHWH, literally means house of the Lord. Grammatically, this construction talks and expresses a relationship and even a belonging, a possession. The first noun is called the construct. It's just the same noun you've had before. We're going to change the spelling with the vowel pointers. We're going to reduce the vowels. And basically, it stands alone, or it cannot stand alone. That's the key. The construct noun cannot be independent. It has to be dependent upon the absolute noun. And so it finds its identity, it finds its meaning, it finds its purpose in the second noun, or the absolute, the last noun of the chain. Chain can have more than two nouns. It can have three or four. The last one is always the absolute, well, unless there's an adjective. So that's what we're going to look at today, but I want to emphasize now we're talking grammatical structure here, but we find the same kind of thing in our spiritual relationship with God, our Creator. It's this picture of a relationship. We're not independent. We find our completeness, we find our purpose, we find our belonging when we're connected to Him. Basically, we are the construct. He is the absolute. Just as a Beit Yahweh, Beit YHWH, Beit Adonai, however you want to do that, depends upon what follows. In this case, Yahweh. We are the house of the Lord. It shows a possession. It shows a connection. It shows a relationship. It's His house. In the same way, would say the Hebrew phrase Yam Adonai, or Yam YHWH, or Yam, should be Aim, not Yam, Aim Adonai, Aim Yahweh, Aim YHWH. And that is, we are the people of the Lord. And so our identity is derived from our relationship with the absolute. So, and the Hebrew Bible is filled with these kind of construct chains. They're everywhere. And oftentimes it describes a relationship and ownership, and especially when you're talking about to Yahweh. These phrases show ownership and show His ownership and character, His glory, are revealed through that relationship, right? Tôrath YHWH, the law of the Lord, Psalm 19, verse 7. Basically, His law, His instruction, His teaching belongs to Him and reflects who He is. Kavôd Yahweh, the glory of the Lord, from Exodus 24 and verse 17. And glory radiates from him and directs and his purpose, holiness to his people. Each of these phrases, including, let's say, Ratzon, Yahweh, the favor of the Lord, Psalm 40, verse 9, it directs a relationship. Everything is good and everything is holy is defined by the relationship of God, Yahweh. And we share in that relationship as if we're the construct and he's the absolute. We are dependent upon the absolute. And that, I think, when you sort of see it in that light, then understanding this construct chains becomes a little more recognizable. We even find not a construct chain, but we find the theology, the same construct idea in the Greek. 1 Corinthians 3, verse 23, you are Christ and Christ is God's. There's this dependency and a theological, sort of a spiritual theological construct chain, not a literal one. Our identity depends upon belonging to another, to him. Just as the Hebrew construct noun is really incomplete without its absolute, and when you put a noun that has meaning, it has purpose, you put it in the construct form, its meaning and purpose is now dependent upon the absolute that it's connected to. And we are incomplete apart from God. And so as we move into chapter 10, I want to sort of give that background behind it because it helps, I think, to see how that relationship really matters, because that's really what we're talking about.